It looks pretty good. Why don't I try it out? If I'm wrong, I just select a new one. So I simply have to click Add to Data Map. And then from here, I can select a number of different columns that I want, or maybe things I don't want at all. And so, maybe, I'm not sure what the data analyst is going to do, so I'll just include everything here for now. Okay. And then I'm going to keep going. I believe I needed some more information here, right, based upon what Prometheus said. So I'm going to sort by the research score here. Okay, so I've got that one. So it looks like maybe this one's the next one I want to check out. And if I look at this one, oh, hey, look, it looks like this one gives me revenue information. Okay, if I look at the sample value, okay, it's got revenue information here, package information. Okay, looks like there's some, oh, this was a lifesaver. Hey, there's some good annotations by other folks. So why don't I go ahead and add this one as well? And maybe I can include and figure out how to join this. Now, one of the cool things about Prometheum is even if these are different data sources, it will actually let me do the data prep and modeling regardless of where it came from. So it's a very easy way for me to visually look at certain things that could be joinable. So for example, I might look here and I see like, hey, maybe there's something called plan ID. Here, I just have to do a search to see if I find something similar. And in this case, it looks like I have something similar. So I can go ahead and select that one. Now again, if I'm wrong, I can go ahead and just do it again, or I can add another condition. And why don't I go ahead and just say I'm going to select everything here. Now if I wanted to do some casting here, I could do that. But again, I'm going to leave it to the data analyst to do that, so I'm not going to do that. So I've got revenues, I've got subscription. It looks like I need agent next. So why don't I go ahead and add agent? But before that, I'm going to save my work here. And let me go ahead now, add agent. Okay, so remember I need agent, and I am going to use the research score again, and I'm only going to look for things that are endorsed. Aha, so it looks like this one from Snowflake might be a good one to pop up. And I'm going to do the same thing I normally do, which is I'm actually going to preview the data. Now, the cool thing about doing all this every single time I preview is I am not moving the data. The data is actually sitting in all these independent data sources like MySQL, Oracle, and Snowflake. So using data virtualization capabilities, I'm able to actually preview the information there. And same thing, it looks like I'm going to have to join this, and so I might look at this and see, is there anything here that I could possibly join? And so maybe I want to try agent ID. No, but there's something called agent key, so maybe agent record key and agent key could work. And again, I will just say I'm going to include everything here to basically build a data set. And, let's see if this works. So I'm going to go ahead and hit run. Now, normally I shouldn't be able to do this because I normally would have to do an ETL and move the data from MySQL and from Oracle into Snowflake and transform it. But here, as you can see, we're able to actually do that. And I got a preview of the data, and first thing that I do as a good data engineer is make sure that there's no null values. And so it looks pretty decent. There's no null values. Now maybe one thing I want to do is maybe I want to increase this a little bit more and make sure that that way the sample set is a little bit bigger before I hand it off to someone. Okay, so it looks like now it's increased from 100 rows to 684 rows. I think this looks pretty good, and I'm actually going to do one check first as a data engineer. And that is, I just want to check the SQL to make sure it looks okay. So it looks like everything that I did, even though no code bases, actually brought over all the different columns that I needed across the three tables. It did the proper joins for me. So I'm actually pretty happy about that. So let me reverse back to this. And if I think this looks pretty good, then I am going to publish this. So once I publish this, I can do a number of things. So let's go ahead and say, let me publish this, because once I publish this, I'm going to hand this off to my data analyst, who's going to be able to take this information and start working on this. So it looks like I am going to be done here. And so now that I'm done here, this will actually show up as a data map. So radio revenue subscription. So anyone with the proper access can now take this and start working on it. So for example, I might actually put this into a different topic if I wanted to, if I want to control who actually can have access to it. So maybe I want to put this in the radio topic. And under topic management, what I can do is assign a specific person that I want to have to be able to share this with. So for example, under users, right, it looks like I can share this with info, this little person here. Let's go ahead and do that. So, and I'm going to make info the owner now going forward, so they can go ahead and do this. So now what we're going to do is I'm actually going to log out here, and I'm going to log in as another user called info. Great, so now the data analyst actually logged in as info, and I can see that this data set has actually been already created by support. So I'm going to actually take this data set, and I can either start directly editing it and start working on it, or in this case, maybe I want to preserve it. So I'm actually going to duplicate it. So that way I can preserve the data set that was actually done by someone else and not modify it. So I'm going to come in here, and now as a data analyst, I'm going to do all the data prep and modeling to get this data set ready to use. So again, first thing I'm going to do, maybe I can do something like I change the name of this so it doesn't look so horrible here. Instead of cloned, right, I will just say data analyst. Okay. So first thing, let's make sure that the data set is actually valid. So we do that by validating the query, making sure that the federated query actually runs. We have all valid joins. Again, one of the things I like about this is I did not have to move any data. I did not have to write any SQL code, and I actually see that I've got a valid data set here. So this is great. I can go ahead and start using this. Now, one of the things I noticed immediately as I did this is, whoa, I've got a bunch of null values. What's going on here? So first thing that clues me in is maybe something didn't happen correctly with the join that I have here. And so maybe instead of a left outer, maybe I want to do an inner join here on this particular one. Looks like, yep, I've got the right one selected. So let's go ahead and see what happens if I change the join type here. Again, the preview is actually very helpful because it lets me catch that error there before I go too far off in my work. And let's go to, okay, all right, we actually don't have any null values now. So fantastic. But one of the things I realized as I was looking through this is like, geez, there's actually quite a bit of information, quite a bit of columns here that I may not want the business user to actually even take a look at. So one of the things I can do is actually limit this down. So maybe what I want to do is I can group by just the necessary information that I want the business user to be able to see. And the other thing that maybe I want to do is maybe I want to get rid of some null values that don't exist as well. So why don't we start by doing the group by, and I'm going to make sure that we do this in a way that makes sense. Since I'm the data analyst, I know the data. So for example, I might look for grouping by vendor, and I might also look at grouping by, say, plan. I might also look at grouping by package, and I might also looking at grouping by len, which actually is really term. So I'm going to make that so it's a little bit easier. And then I'm going to also add a summarization field here, and I'm going to, maybe I'm going to make this monthly expected revenue, okay, which is what MER means. So this makes it a little bit easier for my business user to understand. And that will make it a little bit easier. Instead of having 92 columns or so, it's going to make this a little bit easier and easier on the eyes for the business analyst to take in and visualize. So clean things up a bit here. There we go. So vendor plan package term makes it a little bit easier here. And let's see, I notice I've got some blanks here. So what I'll probably do is I'm going to do a filter where the sum of revenue does not equal to any null values. Okay. All right. So as I do this, notice that the lineage is updated in real time, right? Before we had the joins, so now it actually shows the two different types of joins I have. It shows the group by, it shows the filter that I have. So that way it can actually keep track of all this information in real time. And so I look at this and I think this is pretty good. And if I actually want to see how it looks like in SQL, I can actually always do this. And I can see that this is the information that I have, and you can see the work that I've done. I've done the casting, right, in terms of changing different names. And it shows the ones that group by. It shows you know, the filter that I actually did here. So that's great. Let me go back to the no code mode. And now I'm going to publish this so that way my business users can actually take this and instantly start working on this. By the way, when I'm publishing, I will actually also publish to any third-party BI tool that is connected to Prometheum. So this could be Power BI, this could be Looker, this could be Tableau, any of the major BI tools that has a Hive connector will instantly connect to Prometheum. So now that I'm done, I'm actually going to go back to my business user view. So let me go ahead and log out of this.